This means, assuming Mark Carney does what he says he will do, the writ will drop and the campaign for Battle River Crowfoot will commence as of I have another one of these.
You guys are going to love this one.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have by process of elimination, and by virtue of what the process is, we have an idea of when Election Day is probably going to be in Battle River Crowfoot. So, before we announce when we believe that's going to be and when the campaign will actually start, let's get to the lead up and how we get there. So, the first thing that needed to happen, as everybody knows, is that Damian Kurek needed to resign. Now, the problem is he couldn't resign immediately. He had to wait about 30 days after Parliament began, and that happened. So, this is right off of the ourcommons.ca website. Resignation of a member. A member may give notice of his or her intention to resign by making a statement on the floor of the House. That happened. Immediately upon the recording of this notice in the journals of the House, the Speaker addresses a warrant to the Chief Electoral Officer for the issue of a writ for the election of a member to fill the vacancy. A member may also resign his or her seat by delivering to the Speaker a written declaration of intention to resign, signed before two witnesses. On receiving the declaration, the Speaker addresses a warrant to the Chief Electoral Officer for the issue of a writ for the election of a member to fill the vacancy. What happens after that? Well, this is where Mark Carney comes into play. Whenever a vacancy in the representation of the House occurs during a Parliament for whatever reason, the Speaker addresses a warrant to the Chief Electoral Officer for the issue of a writ to election to fill the vacancy. The writ for a by-election must be issued between the 11th and the 180th day, or 6 months later, after the receipt of the warrant of the issue of the writ by the Chief Electoral Officer. While the Parliament of Canada Act requires by-elections to be called within 6 months of a seat becoming vacant, there is no limit on how far in the future the actual date of the by-election may be set. The date of the by-election is fixed by the Governor in Council and must be at least 36 days after the issue of the writ. More than one by-election may be held on the same day. A writ for a by-election is deemed to have been superseded and withdrawn if Parliament is dissolved prior to the date set for the by-election. So that's what happened with that Nova Scotia riding when Justin Trudeau waited the maximum amount of time, which was 6 months, to actually call the by-election for that riding, and then Parliament was dissolved, and then that by-election was superseded by the general election. So, where does this take us? Well, we have one more factoid to show. So this was on the afternoon of June 17th. MP Damian Kurek officially resigns, paving the way for Poilievre's by-election. So, I believe the actual resignation was received on June 18th is when that happened.
Yes, so I believe he announced it. I mean, he had kind of announced it beforehand, but there was news articles about it on the 17th, but Elections Canada is showing the date as the 18th.
Mr. Speaker, it is an honor to serve in this place. Being elected for the third time to represent the people of Battle River Crowfoot truly is an honor, and for anyone who has had the opportunity to sit in this place, it truly is. Being able to serve your communities is something that is a profound honor and something that I hope each and every one of you, all 342 of you, take very, very seriously that responsibility. When I first put my name forward to run in 2019, there is things that you stand for and believe in. Things like putting Canada first, no matter what the circumstances. Things like ensuring that you are always going to put your country first when it comes to the deliberations in this place, when it comes to your actions. And Mr. Speaker, that is why I am so proud to stand with Danielle and stand with my family and offer to resign my seat to Pierre Poilievre, the leader of Canada's Conservatives, because that man, I truly believe, is the right man to lead this party, to be the leader of the opposition in this Parliament. And Mr. Speaker, my belief before and my belief remains today that Pierre Poilievre is the right man to be Prime Minister of Canada.
So, what does this mean? This means, assuming Mark Carney does what he says he will do, the writ will drop and the campaign for Battle River Crowfoot will commence as of the morning of June 29th, 2025. That is when that race will begin. So
That's if Carney keeps his word and keeps it to the shortest amount of time possible.
at 11 days.
Yes.
So he has to wait a minimum of 11 days after. Now, when will Election Day be? The minimum amount, as you heard, was 36 days after that writ was dropped. So where does that put us? That puts us at around August 4th, 2025 is the earliest possible day that an election, the actual day to vote, will be held in Battle River Crowfoot. Now, it depends because by-elections typically fluctuate between 40 and 45 days in terms of the average campaign length. That's what we've been looking at over the past few years. So,
And they're typically on a Monday as well, if I'm not mistaken.
that's correct.
So that would be the 4th, possibly. Could be the 11th, or could be the 18th. And these 3 dates are based on the fact, well, it's not even a fact, it's based on the assumption that Mark Carney will announce it in the shortest possible time. So that would be June the 29th.
From what we've heard from inside, it sounds like he's going to. Sounds like he's not going to be playing games with that.
But that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
He
So-
has up to 180 days after the vacancy, which, I mean, I think that was the first week in December to announce it. But Mark Carney previously said that he would announce the by-election as soon as possible, that he wasn't going to just procrastinate.
Yep.
So
it's either going to be on August 4th, which is a Monday, or the other possibility, and it might be the more likely possibility, is Monday, August 11th.
the 4th of August is a holiday in Alberta, which I believe it's a holiday here too. I believe that's a civic holiday that day.
So it's possible
So,
that may move it to,
To
the
the
11th.
Tuesday. No,
Or-
they can. If the Monday's a holiday, they can move it to the Tuesday. They don't commonly, but it's possible. Or they just move it to a different week.
So for Albertans that are in the riding of Battle River Crowfoot, you can circle those 3 days. June 29th is when the campaign is probably going to kick off if Mark Carney keeps his word. And it all depends on how long they set that campaign length. Probably Monday, August 11th. So there you go. That is your probable election day in Battle River Crowfoot.